Hi guys! Today I want to share with you the CoverGirl TruBlend Undercover Collection. It's a collab with CoverGirl and Ash K. Holm. She does the makeup for so many celebrities and I love a good collab. So if you want to see more about this line and see what it can do, stick around. Okay, so CoverGirl sent me the TruBlend Undercover set. Somehow they knew my shade, which is kind of crazy. I've actually never worn CoverGirl foundation or face makeup. I used their blush a little bit, but I was extra excited to try because I haven't used any of their stuff. So this is what it looks like, and let's see what it came with. We have some translucent powder and some banana powder, so that's yellow tone. Usually people use that for their under eyes and it offsets that blue shadow that those dark circles tend to cast. So right now I have on my eye makeup and lipstick and that's it, and I'm going to just use all this other stuff. So let's see what happens. We are gonna start off with the TruBlend Matte Made Foundation. This is in the shade M60, so decent packaging, I like it. So for the concealer, I'm going to use shade M100, and that's going to go with the M60 foundation. There are some Easy Breezy Brow setting gel and some pomade. I actually tried the pomade. It's not my favorite. I'm more of like a pencil kind of girl. The pomade makes my eyebrows feel like kind of stiff. So I'm going to try the clear brow gel though, because I do like to set. And they also sent TruBlend Super Stunner. They sent Super Stunner Hyper Glow highlighters, and they look bomb. So they sent 3 colors. They sent Pearl Crush, and that is kind of like a cool rose gold. More like a champagne. I would say this one's a champagne. This one is rose quartz and it's kind of like a pinky, and this one is gold and it's called Gilded Glory. So I may use all of them. I mean, this hair situation. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start off with their foundation. Again, this is in the shade M60. So I'm just gonna squeeze a little out onto my beauty blender and work that in. So far, the coverage seems medium, but I'm liking the finish. It's kind of like melting into my skin, which means the shade is just right. Okay. So I'm going to use the shade M100 for my concealer. So right off the bat, the doe-foot applicator is pretty big. It actually reminds me of Shape Tape. Even the consistency. So full disclosure, I have been wearing this for, I would say, like a week, and it's my favorite product in the line for a few reasons. So I love that it's super full coverage, like super full coverage, but not so much where it looks cakey. It dries really thin, which is great. I also love, you truly don't even have to set it. I mean, they sent me the setting powder, so I'll set it today, but I didn't set it for a couple days, and you would never know it. It didn't crease, and I mean, this is like totally my new go-to. Like, I like it better than some of my high-end brands that I usually use. So I'm just gonna hit it with the beauty blender a little bit more, make sure it's totally blended. like it's seamless. I'm obsessed with this concealer. It's so good. So, so, so good. If you buy anything from this set, the CoverGirl TruBlend Undercover Concealer is my recommendation. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to use the banana powder underneath to set. Oh my god, how cute! Comes with a little fluffy thing. A little powder puff. Okay, so it does come with a little powder puff to apply, but I am going to use my brush. This is a Cover FX brush. It's a contour brush, but I like it for my under eye. I'm just gonna tap a little bit on. If you are older than 35, which I am, I don't recommend using the baking method. I just dust a little bit on. And again, like I said, you don't even have to with this because it sets so nicely on its own once it's dry. But if it's like a hot day or you have an event and you really just want to stay locked and loaded, just pat a little bit underneath. Really thin coat, you don't need a lot. I don't know, when I bake and really pack it on there, I feel like it just almost like highlights the little fine lines and it makes everything look creased and crepey, and I hate that. Nobody looks good like that. So if you're blessed with beautiful under eye skin, then bake away. It's pretty fine milled, so I think it would work well for people that do bake under their eyes, but I don't do that. So I did a little swipe wherever you put concealer usually. So I usually just do it under my eyes and if I have like a major blemish. But yeah, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna set my foundation. So since I'm using the liquid foundation, you're gonna want to put a really thin coat of translucent powder over it if you're going to use any powder contour or highlight, just because when you add a powder on top of a cream or a liquid formula, it's going to kind of like stick to it. So if you add a little layer of translucent powder just to set it all, then you can go in with your powders and not have to worry about that. Sometimes I use my bronzer, and if I forget this step to add a little bit of like a dusting of translucent powder, it, like you can see where I put it. So if I go like this with it, you'll see the lines and that looks gross. You want everything super blended out. So a little dusting of this translucent powder. I like that it's not pure white because that leaves a weird casting, like a flashback on a camera, and that doesn't look good either. So it's a little bit tinted, so it's kind of like a beigey color. I'm not sure how many shades they have in the line, but I'm guessing there's a couple shades for each skin tone. Okay, all right, so let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna set the brows using the Easy Breezy Brow in clear. I already used some brow pencil on them. Just to set, make sure everything's brushed up, locked and loaded. So I'm just gonna add a little bronzer and I'll be right back. Bronzer just makes you come back to life, right? So I'm gonna use the gold shade on my nose, so it's not like that, hello, I'm wearing highlighter. It's just a little shine to add some dimension. So this is really pretty actually. The way I add it is I use a pencil brush and I make it kind of like an exclamation mark. So I make a line and then at the tip I put a little dot, just so it kind of gives that like turned up little nose kind of look. Okay, and let's see, what else can we do? Let's use the shade Pearl Crush. I'm gonna put some in my inner tear duct. make me look a little bit more awake. And let's see, we are going to use the rose quartz. Now here's a little trick that I do. Every day I don't wear blush, but if I feel like getting kind of fancy, if I do wear blush and I want to highlight, I want it also to blend and look as natural as possible. I don't want a blinding highlight. It's just not realistic for every day. For me, for some people it looks great and I love it, but on myself it's just not my thing. So I'm going to use the rose quartz, which is a pinkier shade. Tap it off just a little bit, and I'm going to apply that to the tops of the apples of my cheeks only. So you're going to use the pinky shade right there and there, just a little bit. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to take that gold color again, and with that I'm going to apply from where I left off up my cheekbones. Now this is going to add, holy moly, this is beautiful highlighter. It's just going to add a little bit of color dimension. It's going to give the illusion of blush while keeping that highlight without being like too obnoxious. Just my little trick. So that's it. I hope you like the collection as much as I do. If you ever tried any of these or want to know anything else, hit me up in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you like content like this, or if you want to see something else, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. My handle is @FindingSilverLinings, and FindingSilverLinings.net is the blog. Okay, thanks for stopping by, guys.